you'll see a lot of these videos on, YouTube and TikTok of Jaguar Wright speaking out against a lot of people in the entertainment industry. Two of the individuals I think she speaks out about the most, I'd say, are probably Diddy and Jay-Z. She speaks out about a lot of people, mostly in the in the music industry, maybe some people in the acting world. And so with Jaguar Wright, if you're not familiar with Jaguar Wright, Jaguar Wright is a singer, and she was very much she was in the industry with, alongside Jay-Z, I think it was going back to the Blueprint album, talking around 2001 time. She had done vocals on a lot of the songs. I think it was H to the Izzo, Girls, 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 Song Cry, or some of the songs she's credited on. But what from the stories that she's saying, though, is that it's a very, nothing I didn't already know from research I've done, that it is a very dark, demonic music industry of the stuff that they'll want you to do in order to get up the next rung on the ladder. And if you don't play ball, it's going to be very difficult for you to try and have any success in the music industry, and they'll just be done with you. And with Jaguar Wright, she claims that she had a solo album that was going to be released, and she blamed the record company of I think specifically of Jay-Z, of trying to sabotage that. And there's a few stories over there of artists that have said that Jay-Z's tried to sabotage them, and a lot of that could be to do with who Jay-Z is married to, and that Jay-Z tries to kill off on behalf of his wife a lot of her competition with female artists. But not everything is guaranteed in the music industry with artists. It's a lot of money that a lot of money goes into the marketing and the promotion of the artist, and a lot of the times the amount of money that's spent on that artist is going to be based on the record company, how much faith the record company has in that artist. There could be more things involved. It could be very much who these people are connected to, and that's the reason they get into the industry. And also a lot of the other stuff could be about what are these artists willing to do? Are they prepared to do virtually anything and everything to get to the top? There's that as well. But with Jaguar Wright, so I came across some of her videos. I've seen videos, videos on TikTok, videos on YouTube, and there is some pretty shocking stuff out there, the stuff that she talks about. And some of it, I don't know. Some of it you could say you could take it with a grain of salt. Some of it, it's a little bit sometimes. She gets a little bit crazy. She shouts, she rants. Some stuff she does say is a little bit homophobic. It's stuff that might, that'll make it hard for everyone to take everything what she's saying seriously and to ultimately to believe her. But she's been in that industry and worked with one of the top guys in the industry, along with some other people. But she was, worked alongside Jay-Z, and she just seems to really hate Jay-Z, and she says that Jay-Z is worse than Diddy. And there could be a very good reason for that. But before I get into that specifically, looking from Jaguar Wright, because there's a lot of stuff here with Jaguar Wright about, she says, got here looking at Reddit, Jaguar Wright reveals walking in on Diddy of having relations with R&B singer and actor Christopher Williams. And there's a lot of some dark shit, some real dark, murky shit. And there's one here, Jaguar Wright. So the one about Diddy being an alleged murderer. Long before singer and music producer Cassie accused music mogul Diddy of R-word and physically assaulting her, Jaguar Wright made scathing allegations against him. In 2022, this was an interview with Real Life Productions, made several revelations about the music industry. In her disclosures about Diddy, she suggested that he could be behind the death of some Uptown Records employees. Started with 5 people did Uptown Records: Andre Harrell, Al B, Shure, Heavy D, and Puffy, and there's Kim Porter, his ex, was the longest working employee, was there from the very beginning. She was Andre's personal assistant. Kim is dead, Heavy D is dead, Andre Harrell is dead. The only ones two left are Puffy and Al. And Al almost died. Isn't that interesting? I'm not too familiar with the guy Al, but you know, Heavy D, he had a name in the industry. He had some pretty cool, fun rap records. He was a big loss to the you know, the rap community. Kim Porter, there's a lot of questions about her death. Was Diddy involved in that? But there's a lot of stuff there with Diddy. The conspiracies there with, you know, was he involved with the murder of Tupac? Was he involved in the murder of Notorious B.I.G.? And it seemed to be very kind of fitting. Not that long after Biggie died, they had the album out, and it was Life After Death, it was called. And then even in 1983, it was called, his album was called Ready to Die. You know, about 4 years before he passed away. Is that like a bit kind of like predictive programming much? It's like, gee. I don't put it past any of these people in the industry. I really do not. But also, there's another one, that the rapper Common, she accused Common of allegedly sexually assaulting her, the Jaguar Wright. In another interview from 2020, Jaguar opened up about how Common allegedly sexually assaulted her. She explained that her and Common ended up together after a show. She continued, next thing we know, we go to bed, and he says, come on, Jay. And she goes, no, I'm tired, N-word. I was on stage all night. I want to lay down. Jaguar claimed that she kept all her clothes on that night as a precaution, as she was a victim of sexual assault. She fell asleep, but was shocked when she woke up in the morning. Jaguar accused the Common of trying to initiate oral sex with her. There's a lot of deep shit, dark shit in this, and a lot of these allegations here, from what she's saying, I believe a lot of them. I believe most of them. There's a lot of dark shit in that industry. She was saying stuff, and it's not as bad as this, but she was saying that it's very common that when you're like you're touring around doing hotel rooms, along with your breakfast, and I think this was quite common in Miami, they referred to it as a South Beach diet. It was very much a big thing of you would have drink champagne, and you would have drugs for your breakfast, like champagne and cocaine. A lot of times they offered her drugs with her breakfast, and it could be, I don't know, it could be like cocaine or weed. She always chose weed, and then they stopped doing it after she realized she just chose weed. I guess the soft drug, right? And again, some people might say, well, that's kind of some of the perks of being in the industry. That's just some goodies that they'll give you to keep you happy. But that could be a lot more darker than that. That they want you to get hooked on drugs and be dependent on drugs, and maybe that way, in their mind, you're easier to control. I don't know. But it's a dark, dark industry. It really is. And, you know, it's a bit common, though, denied the allegations of Jaguar Wright. He said, God bless Jaguar. I really don't have any negative thoughts towards her. I was for sure disappointed and hurt when she said what she said about me because it wasn't true. But then you think, well, couldn't he sue her? Would he not sue her? He had heard about it. It wasn't like she was totally off his radar. He'd heard about the allegations. Would he not sue then? Surely if something like this didn't happen, you would file a lawsuit, right? Common said to you, people who had endured sexual assault and knew they wouldn't make false claims. He also said he understood Jaguar might be going through some things he didn't understand. Common concluded that, in all truth, I went through different emotions. I'm like, oh man, why is she saying this? This is not true. How is this going to affect me? Now, another one that's pretty bad. And it's quite some disappointing here this stuff is true, because Common, you know, known as a real good rapper, big and with conscious rap, that would be heartbreaking. The Roots would be another one. I like Roots. Black Thought, real talented MC. But she's saying that the whole Roots band allegedly helped R. Kelly recruit underage girls. In 2020, while R. Kelly was awaiting trial for sex trafficking, Jaguar Wright claimed the famous band The Roots helped him carry out his crimes. Jaguar made the assertion in an Instagram live video. She said, look at R. Kelly. The Roots was around when that N-word was sending his driver around to go get girls from what was the middle school. They brought him to the studio. They brought him to Larry Gold's studio, and I was told to mind my effing business if I wanted to keep my career. A member of the Roots told me that ain't none of your business. That man makes people millionaires. And that was probably the mindset a lot of other people had back then with R. Kelly. They just they turned a blind eye in the end, right? Jaguar further expressed regret for not speaking out about the issue back then. She said she felt horrible for keeping quiet about it, especially as she was a sexual abuse survivor. She concluded, "You know how responsible I feel for the woman I let get hurt because I didn't say nothing." Jaguar Wright's claims, whether true or not, shook the music industry, although many people felt she was doing so for attention. The severity of the allegations, especially in light of recent happenings, may make one want to pay attention. Now, I'm going to get the stuff with Jay-Z, so there's some heavy stuff here. Be prepared for this. Brace yourself for this one. With this stuff, she's been speaking out a lot about Jay-Z, against Jay-Z. She's claimed that Jay-Z has tried to threaten her life and her family with this stuff. Having not him directly, he'll get people to do that stuff. It's kind of like what Diddy would do, right? You know, Diddy would get, he'd get people to go and blow Kid Cudi's car up, because he was, I think, seeing a Cassie at the time. But this stuff here, the allegations with Jaguar Wright against Jay-Z, this stuff is pretty shocking. I don't know if this has been picked up by everybody with going through on TikTok and even on here on YouTube. But I'm going to play the clip here. So this is what Jaguar Wright claimed that Jay-Z did to her. So here we go.
I saw that video, you was the first person I thought about. Why? Because you have been telling that shit for so long, and to see something like that online, and then to see it, I know it had to make you feel some kind of way. You was the first person. I was like, damn. Yeah,
sorry. So just to give this some context, so they're speaking about with the tape that was revealed a couple of days ago with the footage from the hotel of Diddy assaulting Cassie. And she watched this. She did a live reaction to it. And as she was watching this, she broke down in tears because she was real emotional. Just empathy on another human being, for her, another woman, and with stuff that she had said she had gone through, that she's been a victim of domestic abuse. So that's what they're talking about here.
Yeah. Anybody who saw that and anybody who listen to what you've been saying for these years, they should feel real stupid, real dumbfounded. And I know that affected you just a little bit because you knew it. You know what I'm saying? All this shit and then more. And people don't understand. People, when you see stuff like that, it's a trauma. You are victimizing women. And then know that Jag has seen all this through the industry like that. How the fuck she supposed to be? How is she supposed to act? What's she supposed to feel like?
He choked me.
Who?
Diddy?
Who you talking about, baby?
Wait, you need me to drop you down?
See, what people don't understand is the tears that they saw. See, I know what that felt like. I know what it feels like to be strapped to a bed with a man put a gun in your head and tell you sing, or he's gonna blow your brains out while he's raping you. That's what Sean Carter done to me.
Wow.
His ass need to be in jail right now.
He next. Jay-Z.
No, we can go handle that real quick. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about right there. And you know what? What can he say? The damage is already done.
I'm gonna let you just tell the full story, Jack. You take your time.
And this kid, the motherfucker up here talking about he's sorry, he apologized. He ain't say I apologize. He said I'm sorry. Sorry ass for sure. This is just one of the queens. And how many more? How many thousand more?
Wow. So that was pretty heavy right there. That was pretty strong. And so what she was saying there, that she said that Sean Carter, Jay-Z, she was strapped to bed. He had a gun on him. He was saying to her, pointing the gun at her, saying, sing, or else I'm going to blow your brains out, while he was, R-word, her. Like, that's some strong shit right there. I mean, we've heard some sketchy stuff out there with Jay-Z. I mean, we've heard the stuff about Jay-Z, cheating Beyonce, being a womanizer. We've heard other stuff that, Jay-Z with, baby mamas and stuff like that, and maybe there's illegitimate kids out there. I've heard those things. Some people have said some maybe a little bit sketchy that, the age gap that Beyonce and Jay-Z had at the time when he started getting with her. There's other allegations out there about was it stuff about Foxy Brown, that stuff happened there when it was like maybe she was 15 going on 16. But this one here, this might be the most shocking one I've heard, and this is stuff, again, allegedly, but this is what she's saying. Going by what her reaction, it's like, I don't know if she could be that good of an actress to make something up like that and lie. Just the way she came off, just how emotional she was, just kind of like right away, said his name, flung the lighter away, removed her glasses, just, I don't know, just something there. Like, I have a hard time writing that off as this is just her making up lies, that she's just some washed up singer who didn't make it. I don't know. To me, there's something to this. I think a lot of it, to me as well, it's kind of like the character of Jay-Z, because when you think of the people that Jay-Z's hung around, right? R. Kelly, Diddy, these people that, he very much kind of treated like equals, right? He was like seen as like really good close friends with Diddy, and he was around him a lot. These two big moguls who supposedly on paper became billionaires, and look at Diddy now. Look at the stuff that's coming out about Diddy. I mean, it'd be one thing if Diddy was really like what they're talking about, being in the closet, and he lived an alternative lifestyle. That's one thing, right? If it was all consensual. But now it's like with this stuff with Diddy about, assault, grooming, and beating up women, and all that weird shit with Justin Bieber, with that video, when he was his guardian for, was that whole day or whatever. Like, Diddy's like, it looks like Diddy was essentially like the black Jeffrey Epstein. R. Kelly, all the women that he was creeping with. That whole thing about getting illegally married to Aaliyah, all the women, the young 13-year-old girls that he abused, this stuff was on film, peed on. But Jay-Z was seen like they were equals. He was the king. R. Kelly was the king of R&B, and it was like Jay-Z was the king of, well, he fancies himself as the king of rap, but he was like the king of New York at the time. You can tell a lot about the character of a man by the people that he hangs around. And the people that he puts up on a pedestal, who they look up to, who they respect. And considering that Jay-Z's kind of like stabbed a lot of people in the back in the industry, some might say with some people had it coming and deserved it. But other people probably didn't, and it was uncalled for. And even just artists in general, people that he didn't want to consider as equals, right? I mean, he was in an all-out war with Nas for about 7 years until he probably considered him to be his equal in rapping, with being a lyricist, right? But then you see this stuff now with, it's all coming out, isn't it, with Diddy? I don't think Diddy can survive this stuff, right? Surviving Diddy, nah, I don't know. I mean, Diddy did the groveling apology with that footage coming out, with him beating up Cassie, but it's all bullshit. It's all a bullshit lie, because he tried to claim that all that stuff was false, despite paying off, settling that lawsuit within 24 hours, one of the quickest settlements probably in history, right? But that stuff there, that is pretty shocking. Those allegations there. Made by Jaguar Wright against Jay-Z. It's pretty heavy. And I don't know if many other people have picked up on that part specifically, but boy, that's one of the most shocking things I've heard about Jay-Z. But there could be even more, some more, way more shocking stuff out there. And there's all that other stuff now with Drake as well. Stuff with him, and then Drake has been accused of grooming. There was stuff about, because they found it quite weird that he was texting a 13-year-old girl and Millie Bobby Brown at the time, and man, it's a dark world. Dark, dark world. The music industry is demonic. It really is. and you've got to really be. You must be riding with the devil if if you get to the top. I mean, you really do. I mean, you see them doing all that. They do it all the time, Jay-Z and Beyonce. They rub it in our faces with the 666 signs and the hand signals and all that. They aren't good people. And I very much, with this allegation against Jay-Z, I'm going to say it. I believe Jaguar Wright. I believe her. But that's my video for now on this, guys. Feel free to like, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think on this. Let me know what your thoughts are on Jaguar Wright, and also on the allegations that she's got here against, with Diddy. There was the stuff there with the Roots, and also with Jay-Z. But that's me for now, guys. Thank you very much. Bye.